Masters Tracker, Spieth back in top 5, Scheffler closes up and down third round. Longhorns Masters Tracker, check back often as we keep you up to date on Longhorns news as former Texas golfers look to take home golf's biggest prize. With 2021's Masters officially set to kick off from Augusta National Golf Club, many are wondering who will emerge with the green jacket at the end of Sunday's final round. As former Texas Longhorns, Jordan Spieth, Scottie Scheffler, and Dylan Frittelli will tee off on Thursday with all of the eyes of Texas and the rest of the golf world upon them. Stick with Longhorns Country for all of the latest updates for the Masters below. April 10th, Round 3 to 2:33 p.m. update. The first third of Jordan Spieth's third round has come to a close, and the former Texas Longhorn is still firmly in contention, after pairing the par 3 sixth and stay even on the day. Spieth had moved up the board briefly after a birdie on number 2 but lost that ground on thanks to a tough bogey on number 4. With his latest par, Spieth currently sits in a three-way tie for 5th place on the leaderboard with Hideki Matsuyama and Justin Thomas, just one shot back of the second place, and 3 shots back of the lead. As for Scottie Scheffler, the 24-year-old had managed to turn things around to end the day, sinking 2 birdies on the final 6 holes. However, thanks to a disappointing bogey on 18, Scheffler ends his up-and-down day 1 under for the round, and even par for the tournament. As we write this, Scheffler will begin the final round in a tie for 21st place on the leaderboard. April 10th, Round 3 to 1 p.m. update. Scottie Scheffler has continued to struggle to gain ground on the field through 11 holes, once again sitting at even par on the day after a bogey on the par 4 11th. Scheffler's trouble on the 11th came on the green, when he left his first putt 14 feet short of the pin, leaving him a difficult save. After a narrow miss on his par chance that landed him 3 feet past the cup, Scheffler was able to make the bogey putt, putting him back to 1 over on the tournament, and tied for 30th on the leaderboard. Back at the first, Jordan Spieth got off to a solid start in round 3, pairing the opening hole after leaving his long birdie putt just short, and sticking to his spot at 4th overall on the leaderboard. April 10th, Round 3, noon update. Scottie Scheffler has continued his up-and-down play through the first 6 holes of Round 3 at Augusta, sitting at even par on the day and 1 over on the tournament. Scheffler got back to even on the tournament after a birdie on a par 5 second but went back down to 1 over thanks to a bogey on the par 4 fifth. Scheffler's bogey was caused by an errant second shot to the right of the green, that put him 27 years from the pin. After chipping 7 years from the pin, Scheffler was left with a tough putt to save par, but was unable to convert, leading to the bogey. Jordan Spieth, on the other hand, is set to begin his third round at 1 p.m. court, as he looks to chase down current leader Justin Rouse, who he trails by 2 strokes. Spieth is sitting in a tie for 4th place on the leaderboard with Mark Leishman, just 1 stroke behind Will Zalatoris and Brian Harman. April 9th, Round 2 to 3 p.m. update. Former Texas Longhorn Jordan Spieth moved into contention on Friday, finishing his second round with a score of 5 under, and in a tie for 2nd place. Heading into number 17 tied for 5th place overall at 3 under par, Spieth managed to sink a clutch 30-foot putt to steal a birdie and move into a tie for 2nd place on the leaderboard with Mark Leishman at 5 under for the tournament. On number 18, Spieth looked to be in a bit of peril after hitting his tee shot into a left-side bunker along the fairway, 159 yards away from the pin. However, Spieth once again came through in a tight spot, hitting his bunker shot just 18 feet away from the pin for a birdie opportunity. Spieth would narrowly miss his birdie chance, but makes his into the clubhouse with momentum heading into moving day, where he will have a chance to chase the current leader, Justin Rouse. Former Longhorns Dylan Frittelli, on the other hand, continued to struggle on Friday and looks likely to miss the cut 5 over through 16 holes. April 9th, Round 2 to 2:15 p.m. update. After moving himself back up the leaderboard with a stellar stretch from number 8 to number 16, Scottie Scheffler's Round 2 at Augusta came to a disappointing end on Friday, with the former Longhorn carding a underscore over on the final 2 holes of the day. Scheffler's troubles started on the par 4 17th, where he carded a bogey, and ended with a disastrous double bogey on 18, narrowly missing his bogey putt, and entering the clubhouse at 1 over par through 36 holes. Meanwhile, Jordan Spieth continued to move his way forward on the leaderboard, scoring a birdie on the par 5 15th. Spieth got into position for the birdie with a beautiful putt off of the edge of the green that brought him within 2 feet of the cup, sinking the ensuing putt to move to 4 under on the day. Dylan Frittelli also made a move to stay alive in the tournament, scoring a birdie on the par 5 13th, and moving just 1 stroke above the projected cut line at 4 over par. April 9th, Round 2, 1:30 p.m. Update. Scottie Scheffler continued his momentum after his slip in the middle of the front 9, staying at 3 under on the day with a par on the par 3 15th hole. Scheffler just missed his chance to tie his fellow Longhorn Jordan Spieth, after hitting his birdie putt just over a foot from the hole on his second shot. Scheffler has taken advantage of the par 5 chances throughout the round, going 5 under on the 4 opportunities, and narrowly missing a second eagle on the par 5 15th. Jordan Spieth would go on to make impressive shots of his own on number 13, managing to birdie the hole despite hitting an errant tee shot into the woods on the right side of the fairway to begin the hole. Spieth would go on to hit a wonderful second shot to get himself out of danger and put himself just 35 yards from the pin. Spieth then hit his pitch just 7 feet from the hole, sinking the ensuing putt to move back to 3 under. April 9th, Round 2 to 1 p.m. Update. Scottie Scheffler and Jordan Spieth have both made moves as the second round of the Masters at Augusta National has progressed, with Scheffler nailing a clutch eagle putt on number 13 to move to 1 under on the tournament, and 2 under on the day. Scheffler got himself into position for the eagle after hitting a beautiful 196-yard strike to the fairway just 15 feet from the pin with his second shot sinking the long putt to end the hole. Scheffler then narrowly missed another birdie putt on number 14, which would have sent him to 2 under. Spieth once again continued his steady round after the turn, scoring a birdie on the par 4 10th hole, and pairing the par 4 11th, moving him to 3 under for the tournament, and a 7-way tie for 5th place on the leaderboard. Justin Rose still leads the tournament at 7 under par, followed by Mark Leishman at 5 under par. Dylan Frittelli is still in danger of missing the cut through 10 holes at 5 over par. April 9th, Round 2 to 12:15 Update. Jordan Spieth has remained in contention through the first 8 holes of his second at Augusta, sitting at 2 under after pairing holes 3 through 8, leaving him in a 7-way tie for 7th place, and 3 shots back of leaders Justin Rose and Mark Leishman. Meanwhile, Scottie Scheffler has managed to stop the bleeding following his 3 straight bogey streak on holes 5 through 7, birding the par 5 8th, and scoring a trio of pars on number 9, number 10, and number 11. Scheffler did miss an opportunity to get his score down to even par on 2 separate occasions, but he remains 2 spots below the projected cut line of 3 over par. Dylan Frittelli, however, is not so lucky, sitting 2 spots below the projected cut line at 5 over par through 7 holes. Frittelli still has time to make up ground, but after his performance yesterday through the final 9 holes, it may be too late for the former Longhorn. April 9th, Round 2 to 11 a.m. Update. After a hot start to his round in which he scored 2 birdies and 2 pars through his first 4 holes, former Longhorn Scottie Scheffler has begun to collapse on the front 9, scoring 3 consecutive bogeys on number 5, number 6, and number 7. The collapse has now moved Scheffler back to 2 over on the tournament, and into a tie for 35th on the leaderboard. Jordan Spieth, on the other hand, has remained steady through his opening round, scoring a par on the par 3 4th, and remaining in a tie for 6th place on the leaderboard with Patrick Reed, Michael Thompson, Will Zalatoris, Webb Simpson, and Christian Bezuidenhout. Dylan Frittelli bogeyed his opening hole to move to 5 over on the day, but quickly rectified that mistake, notching a birdie on number 2, and a par on number 3. April 9th, Round 2 to 10:30 Update. Scottie Scheffler has gotten off to a hot start in his second round at Augusta, going 2 under through his first 3 holes, and moving to 1 under par on the tournament. Scheffler parred his opening hole, and went on to birdies number 2 and number 3, before pairing number 4 as well. Unfortunately, Scheffler would fall back to even on number 5, after scoring a bogey. Jordan Spieth meanwhile, opened his round shortly after Scheffler, notching a par on the par 4 first hole, and scoring a birdie on the par 4 second. The birdie moved Spieth to 2 under on the tournament, and into a 5-way tie for 6th place. As for Dylan Frittelli, the former Longhorn teed off shortly after Spieth after a 4-over day 1. April 8, round 1 to 6 p.m. update. Jordan Spieth has clawed his way back into the red after sinking an incredible chip for eagle on the par 5 15th hole from 17 yards out, moving him from 1 over par to 1 under par, and helping to move him into a tie for 8th place on the leaderboard. It was an incredible save from Spieth after he knocked his second shot off of the back of the green. Spieth would go on to par the par 3 16th as well, sending him into the last 2 holes with a chance to gain ground. As for Scottie Scheffler, the former Longhorn went into the clubhouse after scoring a par on his final hole, finishing his round at 1 over par for the day. April 8, round 1 to 5:20 p.m. update. In the wake of his disastrous mistakes on number 9, Jordan Spieth was unfazed over the next 4 holes, knocking down a clutch birdie putt on the par 4 10th, and following that up with 4 straight pars to take him to 1 under par on the day. Spieth has been right on the cusp with multiple chances to get back to even par but has missed out on the majority of those chances. As for his fellow Longhorn, Scottie Scheffler had shaken off a tough start, scoring 2 birdies and 9 pars since his last bogey on number 5. However, Scheffler once again took a step back on the par 4 17th, scoring a bogey and dropping to 1 over par for the round. April 8, round 1 to 4 p.m. update. After an impressive birdie on number 8, in which he knocked in a 29-foot putt for birdie. A putt that sent him into a 3-way tie for 8th with Si Woo Kim and Matthew Fitzpatrick. Spieth made his first big mistake of the day on the par 4 9th. Things got started with an errant tee shot that sent him into the woods, giving him a difficult decision for his second shot. That decision was to either hit an aggressive shot through the right side of his lie towards the green or go the conservative route and hit it left onto the fairway, where he could potentially save par. Unfortunately, Spieth chose to go the aggressive route, ricocheting his ball off of a tree, and knocking it back into another part of the woods. From there, Spieth was able to put the ball in a decent position and get within a just off of the green. After a solid chip that put him 3 feet from the pin, Spieth mishit his initial putt, as well as the ensuing putt, leaving him with a triple bogey and moving him to 2 over on the day. April 8, round 1 to 3 p.m. update. After dropping a pair of strokes through the first 5 holes, Scottie Scheffler moved back up to 1 under with a birdie on the par 4 7th, putting him in a tie for 19th with 17 other golfers, including Phil Mickelson, Tony Finau, and Louis Oosthuizen. On the birdie, Scheffler stuck his second shot 8 feet from the pin, then sunk the ensuing putt. A couple of holes behind, Spieth faced his first adversity of the tournament on the par 3 4th, hitting his first shot 34 feet from the pin, in position to birdie. Spieth would go on to hit his first putt just 4 feet from the pin. However, Spieth made an uncharacteristic mistake on his ensuing putt, missing just right of the hole, and sending him to the bogey. Since the misstep, Spieth parred the ensuing 3 holes, taking an even score to the 8th tee box. April 8, round 1 to 2 p.m. update. Scottie Scheffler has moved to 2 over on the day after bogeying the par 4 5th hole, moving him into a tie for 41st on the leaderboard. Scheffler's issues began with an errant second shot, that kicked him to the left of the green. Scheffler was able to get on after that but then missed an 8-foot putt to save par. Scheffler was able to follow up with a par on number 6, and remained at 2 over for the round. As for Jordan Spieth, the 27-year-old moved to 1 under after a birdie on a par 6 second hole, sending him into a tie for 7th on the leaderboard. Spieth had a chance to move to 2 under on number 3, but narrowly missed a difficult 15-foot putt that would have tied him with Christian Bezuidenhout, Webb Simpson, and Will Zalatoris for second place in the tournament. April 8, Round 1 to 1:20 p.m. Update. Former Longhorns Scotty Scheffler and Jordan Spieth have begun their opening rounds at Augusta, with Scheffler getting off to a solid start through his first 3 holes. After bogeying number 1 and getting himself into an early hole, Scheffler has rebounded and holed 3 consecutive pars on number 2, number 3, and number 4, and is heading into number 5 at +1. Spieth, on the other hand, teed off from number 1 at 1 p.m., and is off to his typical early Masters round, knocking in a par to open things up. Spieth was on the green in regulation after 2 shots, and after a near birdie miss from 53 feet out, Spieth holed the par from 5 feet out. April 8, Round 1 to 11:29 a.m. Update. After rallying through holes number 7 to number 16, Dylan Frittelli put himself in a bind heading into Round 2, bogeying holes number 17 and number 18, and finishing the day 4 over. Frittelli knocked his first shot on 18 into the bunker but was able to reach the green in 2 after a solid out. However, his putting issues continued, 3-putting to end the round, including a miss of an easy 5-foot putt. Now near the bottom of active players on the leaderboard, Frittelli will be in a tough spot to begin his Friday round if he wants to make the cut heading into the weekend. April 8, Round 1 to 10:57 a.m. Update. After a tough opening 9 holes in which he carded 4 bogeys, Dylan Frittelli headed into the back half of the round at +3, and looked to be losing his grip on the day. However, the former Longhorn has been able to bounce back as he progressed over the last 10 holes, carding 6 pars, 3 birdies, and just 1 bogey through 16, and now heads into the final 2-hole stretch 2 over par, and on the cusp of cutting into the leaderboard. April 8, Round 1 to 9:45 a.m. Update. Dylan Frittelli continued to struggle through the first third of his first round at the Masters, scoring bogeys at both number 5 and number 6. Frittelli was able to gather some momentum heading into the turn, pairing number 7, and knocking in a birdie on the par 5/8. Frittelli looked to have settled down since, pairing both number 9 and number 10, but once again took a hit on number 11, scoring a bogey. Frittelli was able to mitigate the damage, however, putting just twice on number 11. April 8, Round 1 to 8 a.m. Update. Frittelli has gotten off to a rough start in the opening round at Augusta, scoring bogeys on each of the first 2 holes, and heading into number 3 at 2 over. Frittelli was able to stop the bleeding at number 3 and number 4 and save par. Frittelli has struggled with his putting thus far, averaging 2.33 putts per hole through the first 3 holes. Read more. Spieth is once again a winner. Can he add another Masters next? Dylan Frittelli, who is playing in his 3rd Masters, is set at 7:12 a.m. CT with former champion Sandy Lyle and Australian Matt Jones, and will be the first Longhorn to tackle Augusta on Thursday. It will be his 2nd consecutive Masters appearance, after finishing in a tie for 5th place in 2020, a finish that earned him a spot in the 2021 field. Frittelli had rounds of 65, 73, 67, and 72 to finish 11 under par in 2020. Frittelli also played in the Masters in 2018 but finished in a tie for 58th place. Scotty Scheffler will play in his 2nd Masters, after tying for 19th in 2020. Scheffler was 6 under par for the event, with rounds of 71, 68, 72, and 71. He earned an invite after finishing in the top 4 in the 2020 PGA Championship. Scheffler, who is ranked 29th in the world and has 3 top 10 finishes this season, will tee off alongside Phil Mickelson and Tommy Fleetwood at 12:12 p.m. CT. Last but certainly not least, Jordan Spieth, who won his first Masters title in 2015 and has finished in the top 3 in the tournament on 3 other occasions, will begin the quest for his 2nd win at Augusta in the day's final grouping at 1 p.m. Central Time alongside Cameron Smith and Colin Morikawa.